Sripada Srivallabha, Chapter 13, Part 8, 9, 10 and 11. Part 8, Explanation of Gayatri. Not only that the Gayatri mantra is like the celestial tree, the Om in that incantation is the trunk that came out of the earth. By reciting Om, one can obtain the knowledge about the existence of God and the devotion towards God. The trunk has developed into three branches as Bhu, Bhuva and Swaha. Bhu is capable of imparting the knowledge of self. Bhuva suggested that the Karma Yoga is to be followed by the living beings when they hold a body. Swaha helps in maintaining equipoise amidst all pairs of opposites and attain the state of Samadhi. From the branch Bhu, three sub-branches named Tat, Savitu and Varanium came out. Tat gives the wisdom of life to the individual. Savitu gives strength to the bodily being. And Varanium helps man to transcend animal instincts and transform into a divine personality. From the branch Bhuva, three sub-branches namely Bhargo, Devasi and Dimi originated. Bhargo enhances purity, Devasi bestows supernatural sight possible only for celestials, Dimi improves good qualities. From the branch Swaha, three sub-branches namely Diyo, Yona and Prachodayat came out. Diyo develops discrimination, Yona develops restraint and Prachodayat develops spirit of service in all living creatures. Therefore, know that Gayatri, the celestial tree, has three branches and each branch has three sub-branches. So 2498 is a number which denotes Sripada Vallabha. I have already explained to you the significance of digit 9 in that number. Part 9, Explanation of number 8. Number 8 is of the nature of Maya. This is verily the nature of Mother Naga. 8 multiplied with 1 gives 8. 8 multiplied with 2 gives 16. In this, if 1 is added to 6, it gives 7. This is lesser than 8. If 8 multiplied with 3, 24 is derived. In this, if 2 is added to 4, it gives 6, which is lesser also than 8. Likewise, when 8 is multiplied by any number, the sum of the different numbers in that product always become either equal to 8 or less than 8. In this way, the attribute of reiterating the potential of all living beings in their creation remains within the universal mother. The phenomenon of Maya has the power to devalue any person, however great he is, and show him to the world in that devalued state. Sripada Srivallabha is the personification of Mother Gayatri. He is Sri Datta in the company of his consort Anga Devi. Those who worship him with mind, speech and actions will fulfill all their desires. In the early morning, Brahmi Shakti seated on a swan. In the afternoon, Vaishnavi Shakti seated on an eagle. And in the evening, Shambhavi Shakti rode on a bullock dwell in Mother Gayatri. The presiding deity of Gayatri incantation is Savita Devi. As a result of Savitru Kataka Chayanam performed by sage Bharadwaja in Treta Yuga in Pitikapuram, Sripada Srivallabha incarnated in Pitikapuram. Savita Devi assumes the form of Rigveda in the early morning. In the afternoon, she takes the form of Yajurveda. In the evening, she will be in the form of Samaveda and take the form of Atharvaveda during night. The sun who is visible to our eye is only a symbol. When yogis attain the zenith of spiritual achievement, they can have a vision of the Brahma Yoni in the shape of a triangle with great luminescence. Out of it, countless millions of Brahmandas originate every moment. They are maintained and also destroyed every moment. In this fashion, creation, sustenance and liquidation go on every moment. The force of Savita that creates, maintains and destroys these countless universes is called Savitri. Nevertheless, Gayatri and Savitri are inseparable. The fire used for burning corpses is called Lohita. The fire used for cooking food is called Rohita. In the same way, a great force is functioning as Gayatri and Savitri in the worldly and otherworldly states. In the process of evolution of the living creatures, there are many necessities relating to this world. All of them are fulfilled by the grace of Mother Savitri. The spiritual advancement of the living beings is achieved through the grace of Mother Gayatri. A synthesis is required to enjoy all comforts and pleasures in this mundane world and to experience the divine bliss of the liberated state in the other world. Those who take refuge in the lotus feet of Sripada will become fulfilled in both the worlds. This is precisely the difference between the devotion towards Sri Datta and the devotion towards other deities. I felt that whatever Sri Ananda Sharma narrated was unique. Then I asked, "Great sir, you are very fortunate. I heard that Sripada would take the incarnation of Sri Narasimha Saraswati. I also heard that in that incarnation he would accept Sri Krishna Saraswati as preceptor. What a strange thing it is." Sri Ananda Sharma continued his narration. The incarnation of God comes only for the sake of the devotees. On assuming a human form, he would practice and teach how a superhuman being should conduct himself. The reunification aspect had to be uplifted. If he wants to become an ascetic, a presbyter is required. That guru should be fully worthy and qualified. Out of millions, only one person would be worthy of being a preceptor to a person who is verily an incarnation. In the family where an incarnation of God is born, 80 generations of that family will acquire salvation. In that family, plenty of good merit would get accumulated. Similarly, the family of the person who acts as the guru of that person of incarnation will also be very pious. In Tanuku, a great person by the name of Mainacharya was born in the family of Vajipayya Jula. Srimati was his wife. They were a pious couple. After some time, they were living in Mangalapuram. In the area of Nandi Koturu, Madhava, Sena and Bhoginath were born to them. Madhava became Vidyarana to restore Sanatana Dharma. The great sage Bapnare drew power from the solar region and invested it in Sri Shela Mallikarjuna Mahalinga. In reality, the Sri Charan of Sri Datta incarnated of Sri Mountain. The advent of the glorious feet of Sripada on the Sri Mountain was a wonderful thing. The name of the mountain was Sri. The holy feet of Sri Datta is Sri Charan. The name of Sripada Srivallabha is very appropriate for this modern incarnation of Sri Datta. There were relationships between the families of Bapnare and Mainacharya from many generations. People used to jokingly remark that a female child born in the Maladi house would be the daughter-in-law of Vajapaya Jula family, and a female child born in Vajapula family would be the daughter-in-law of the Maladi family. However, Bapnare did not give in marriage his daughter Sobhagyavati Sumati Maharani to the family of Vajapaya Jula, inspired by fate and an account of divine decision. Bapnare gave his daughter Akhanda Lakshmi Sobhagyavati Sumati Maharani in marriage to Gandikota Appal Raja Sharma. Lord Datta was born as Sripada Srivallabha and to redeem Vajapaya Jula family who had blood relationship with his maternal grandfather attracted Madhavacharya towards him. Affection of Sripada overflowed in Madhavacharya. Madhavacharya later became sage Vidyaranya. His disciple was Malyananda and his disciple Devatri Tulu. His disciple was Yadavendra Saraswati and his disciple was Krishna Saraswati. Between Sri Vidyaranya and Sri Krishna Saraswati, there were three people in their teacher-student lineage. Sri Vidyaranya would be born as Krishna Saraswati and will be the preceptor of Sripada in his next incarnation. In the future, Sri Vidyaranya will take birth in the family of his brother Sayanacharya under the name of Govinda Dikshita. He will become a saint prince and will become the chief minister of Tanjore. This was the divine pronouncement of Sripada. Sripada was always speaking the truth. Once Sumati Maharani was giving a bath to Sripada, Sri Painada Venkatapaya Srishti came there at that time. On seeing him, Sripada questioned, "Grandfather, do we belong to Markandeya lineage?" He did not reply but smiled at the sweet words of Sripada and their ironical meaning. In fact, Sripada belonged to the Bharadwaja lineage and Panada Venkatapaya Shrishti was from the Markandeya lineage. Sripada said in a veiled manner that he is the maternal grandson of Sri Panada Venkatapaya Shrishti according to a mental perception. Mother Sumati took some water after the bath and blessed Sripada. May you live as long as Markandeya. The lifespan of Markandeya was only 16 years. With the grace of Shiva, he had an endless lifespan. Sripada indirectly suggested that he would stay with his parents only for 16 years. After 16 years of age, Markandeya abandoned his home and became a long-living hermit. Sripada also stayed with his parents for 16 years and thereafter become a world preceptor. He repeatedly asserted that he would conceal his body and his body will have eternal life and that he incarnated as the son of Anushya and Atri in the past in the same form of Sripada Srivallabha which was seen presently. Part 10. The different forms of Sripada. Sripada used to externalize his yogic power and was appearing along with that yogic power and was granting darshan in the female form. Only Lord Datta could bring out the Kundalini force in this way in the form of a female. Bapnare Rajamamba, the parents of Sripada Narasimha Verma and his wife, the Penda Venkatapaya Shrishti couple and some others had a vision of the young couple aged 16 years. His parents who wanted to marry them however met with disappointment. He had already indicated in the very first meeting with Mother Sumati as an Avaduta that he would grant them the vision of a divine couple. The Avaduta said to Mother Sumati, Mother, your son will be with you for only 16 years. If you intend to get him married, he will not heed to you. Moreover, he will abandon the house and leave. Therefore, conduct yourself according to his wishes. Sri Anaga and Sri Datta are an ancient couple. They have no death or birth. They always revel in divine sportive plays in the forms of Sripada Srivallabha. Sri Narasimha Saraswati and Swami Samartha remains an Ardhanarishwara. Part 11. The fruits accruing from the worship for 40 days and Parayana of Sripada Srivallabha Charitamrita. This is a divine secret. There is a special significance of the incarnation of Sripada taking place on Ganesh Chaturthi. Labha was the son of Sri Ganesha during one Kalpa and Yuga. He became famous as Labhada Maharshi. He was born as Nanda at the time of incarnation of Sri Krishna. The Labhada was born as the maternal grandfather of Sripada at the time of the incarnation of Sripada. Sripada incarnated by keeping the attributes of Lord Vignesha steadily in his consciousness in order to ward off all obstacles in the way of his devotees. He was born in the star Chitra. He disappeared in Kurvapuram in the star Hasta, which is the 27th star from Chitra. Devotees of Sripada have to observe a vow for a mandala to remove the undesirable effects in their horoscopes caused by the movement of the 9 planets in the 27 stars. If Sripada is worshipped for a mandala with care and devotion of his hagiography is read devotedly during that period, all desires will be fulfilled. Mind, intellect, inclination and ego spread their individual vibrations and pulsations in all 10 directions. It means that their vibrations are broadcast separately in 40 ways. If these vibrations in all the 40 ways are arrested and divided towards Sripada, they reach Sripada Srivallabha consciousness. There they are properly reformed and transformed to be prosperous vibrations and are returned to the aspirant. Then all the righteous wishes of the spiritual seeker are achieved. My dear Shankar Bhatt, I came to know through inner perception that you would write the biography of Sripada generally. The Parayana books currently in the world contain the family details of the author. The descriptions of your family details is unnecessary in the history of the Lord that you are writing. Meditate upon the Lord. Install Sripada in your inner eye and write in a simple style so that it can be easily understood by all. Then whatever comes out of your writing instrument through the consciousness of Sripada will stand as truth. Books written with this sort of inspiration or mantras uttered in this manner of inspiration need not be subjected to the regulations of grammar or prosody. Some of the great devotees praise the Lord in their local language and with ordinary common words when they had the vision of Almighty. They violated even the common rules of grammar. Even then, those stotras will have to be recited in that manner only. The desired result cannot be obtained if alterations are made to suit the rules of grammar. The strength of the Lord's grace remains in the words of the devotee which pleases him, and thus he grants boons. When we recite those stotras with their original words, our consciousness quickly gets in touch with the divine consciousness. God is not pleased with externals, he is pleased with the inner feelings. An inner feeling is an external power, please note it. I said, sir, the conversation we had after lunch about Sadhguru is very pleasing. Please tell me some more details about the incarnation of Sripada and make me blessed. Venkatapaya, Shrishti and Vatsavai families, and he has a bond of in-depthness which cannot be explained through language. Those three families had lots of good merit, which was their strength. Therefore, Sripada was of opinion that the refusal of his father to accept money or materials given by those three families would cause difficulties. In accordance with the wish of Sripada, Appal Raja Sharma and Sumati Maharani were freely going to the houses of Maladi, Panda, Venkatapaya, Shrishti and Vatsavi families, not only during festivals and important events but also during normal times. On one festive day, Sri Panda Venkatapaya Shrishti invited Appal Raja Sharma and his wife to his house. Sri Panda Venkatapaya Shrishti kept Sripada on his lap and was rocking him in a swinging cradle. Sri Shrishti was very serious on that day. There was a reason for that. There was a famous astrologer in Pitikapuram. He studied astrology in Orissa. There was no evidence to show that his predictions had ever gone wrong. He could indicate very accurately the time of death of a particular person. He predicted that Shrishti would die from heart disease on a particular day, at a particular hour and minute. He said that there was a close relationship between some herbs, planets, stars and some sacred trees and yogic rituals. He further added that he would give a good medicine and a talisman whereby the untimely death would be warded off. He advised Shrishti to remove Appal Raja Sharma and to choose him as a family priest. Shrishti rejected the suggestion. The astrologer made a vow that if his prediction were to go wrong, he would have his head shaved and that he would parade on a donkey. This matter was submitted to Appal Raja Sharma and Sri Bapnare. Bapnare made the astrologer calculation and indicated that the treat of untimely death would be nullified by the intervention of divine power. Appal Raja Sharma worshipped Kalagni Shamana and gave that holy water as prasad. Mother Sumati was a tranquil face, approached Shrishti, whom she considered as her paternal uncle. In the meanwhile, Shrishti had a pain in the heart and cried, Mother. Mother Sumati, who was nearby, came running, saying, My son, have you called me? She touched the heart of Shrishti with her divine, auspicious and prosperous hand. Sripada, who was in the lap of Shrishti, eat loudly go. There was a buffalo in the house of Shrishti. It immediately struggled violently and died in seconds. Shrishti was saved. This information went to the astrologer. He at once came running to the house of Shrishti. He inwardly felt very sad that his great propensity went wrong in a trice. Sripada said to the astrologer, No doubt you are an astrologer. You made a lot of study, I don't deny it. Why should Shrishti have the fear of death when I, the light of all lights, am here? You need not shave your head and parade on a donkey. It is enough if you repent. Your father, when he was alive, took a loan from Shrishti. He lied that he had repaid that loan. He said that lie by swearing upon goddess Gayatri. As a result, your father was born as a buffalo in the house of Shrishti. As Shrishti is a generous one, He was giving plenty of order to that buffalo. I granted a noble birth to your father, who had an inferior birth. I transferred to the buffalo the fruits of past actions of Srishti, who was to meet ultimately death. You conduct funeral rites to the buffalo and also arrange a free feast of food. As a result, the karma of your father will get destroyed and he will attain a noble status. That astrologer followed the instruction of Sripada very faithfully. My boy Shankar Bhatt, Sripada rescues life in a variety of ways. Sometimes he reduces some lifespan of ensuing birth and enhances a lifespan in the present birth. Just as was done in the case of Srishti, he can transfer the fruits of actions from one being to another. The lifespan of the person can also be increased by transferring some lifespan from a well-wisher. In an extraordinary way, he can command death and grant life to the individual. Sripada is a complete incarnation of yoga. A yogi keeps the life force in his control by stopping the growth and degeneration of the body. Sripada is an absolute living form of yogi. Nothing is impossible for him. By breaking the course of inhalation and exhalation, one can achieve liberation easily. A Kriya yogi sends his life force through the ajna, Vishuddhi, Anahata, Manipura, Swadhisthata, Mooladhara regions of the body and also rotates it from an upward to a downward direction and vice versa. The time required for one Kriya equals the natural spiritual development in 1 year. My dear, if 1000 Kriyas are performed in 1/3 of the total day for 3 years, a spiritual development equal to the natural process obtained in a million years will be achieved. When it is mentioned in the Puranas about yogis who undertook penance for many thousands of years, it must be understood that it refers to the time required naturally for that process of evolution. Then it must be understood that the actual time taken by yogis and the time required for evolution to come about naturally are different. Brahma gives longevity to every living being and fixes the number of breaths, but he will not fix it in terms of years. During bad traits like anger and emotion, the breath is heavily expanded. Thereby, longevity decreases. A monkey which has mental instability takes more number of breaths. A tortoise which lives for 300 years takes 1/8 of the breaths taken by the monkey in a given amount of time. Ananda Sharma thus concluded, I became very wise by the good conversation with Ananda Sharma. The next morning, after finishing the morning activities, I took permission of Ananda Sharma and started towards Guruvapuram for the darshan of Sripada Srivallabha. Victory unto Sripada Srivallabha.